Hi, how are you today? Today I'm going to read one of my favorite books that came out this year. We Are Water Protectors by Carol Lindstrom and illustrated by Michaela Goade. On Monday of this week, we didn't have school in honor of Indigenous Peoples Day. Indigenous Peoples Day recognizes that Native Americans are the first inhabitants of the Americas, including what later became the United States. So Native American people have been here longer than anybody else. The day is a reminder for us to rethink history, especially the history we've learned about Indigenous people of the United States. Part of rethinking history includes knowing why it's important that this holiday was changed from Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day, which is what we celebrate now. Holidays are days where we celebrate something or someone. Honoring Christopher Columbus ignored all of the horrible things he did to Indigenous people in history, including starting the colonial takeover of the Americas, which led in the past to the deaths of millions of Native people. Native people and allies fought to change the name so that it honors Indigenous people, who are descendants of the people who knew and lived on this land first. It honors all Native people living today and celebrates their rich history and culture. Native people have been fighting for the right to live their way of life for a long time, which honors the earth. As long they have been fighting for that right, as long as other people have been colonizing the Americas. This book, We Are Water Protectors, is inspired by Indigenous people who have been fighting for clean water from oil pipelines that corporations and the government ran through Indigenous land and sacred sites. In it, it talks about the black snake. The black snake is talking about the oil pipeline, which takes oil, which is really harmful to the earth, from one place to another place. The thing is that these pipes leak, just like any pipes leak, and they can destroy the land that they're built through. In this book, we hear about a young water protector who stands with her people to fight for clean water and their land. I hope you enjoy this book. We Are Water Protectors by Carol Lindstrom and illustrated by Michaela Goade. Published by Roaring Brook Press. Water is the first medicine, Nokomis told me. Nokomis means grandma in Ojibwe. We come from water. It nourished us inside our mother's body as it nourishes us here on Mother Earth. Water is sacred, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. The river's rhythm runs through my veins, runs through my people's veins. My people talk of a black snake that will destroy the land. Spoil the water, poison plants and animals, wreck everything in its path. So here's a picture of the oil pipeline, the black snake. And you can imagine when it spills oil, it destroys all the living things around it. When my people first spoke of the black snake, they foretold that it wouldn't come for many, many years. You'll see on this page, the grandma is telling a story of the past, of how their ancestors predicted that the black snake would come. And now the young girl is in the present and the oil pipelines are being built or being planned on being built. Now the black snake is here. Its venom burns the land, courses through the water, making it unfit to drink. Take courage. I must keep the black snake away from my village's water. I must rally my people together. To stand for the water, to stand for the land, to stand as one against the black snake. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. It will not be easy. We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, the winged ones, the crawling ones. So they're not just fighting for their clean water, they're fighting to protect all the living things around them. The four-legged, the two-legged, the plants, trees, rivers, lakes. How beautiful that is. The earth. We are all related. Tears like waterfalls stream down, tracks down my face, tracks down my people's face. Water is alive. Oops, I'm sorry. Water has its own spirit, Nokomis told me. Water is alive. Water remembers our ancestors who came before us, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. We are stewards of the earth. Our spirits have not been broken. We are water protectors. We stand. The black snake is in for the fight of its life. Remember that this was inspired by a real fight that Native people led against an oil pipeline. The author created this book to honor and share that fight with others. And that was at a place called Standing Rock. And you'll notice this sign says Stand with Standing Rock. In April 2016, just 4 years ago, the Standing Rock Sioux tribe stood together against the building of a pipeline through their tribal land. The movement grew and grew to include more than 500 indigenous nations from all over the world. So that's thousands and thousands of people who came from different indigenous communities all over the world to stand with them, to fight for clean water, and to protect the earth. These indigenous nations continue to work to protect the environment and water for everyone. This book has a lot more information about water protectors. There's a glossary of words and how they're pronounced, a note from the illustrator, and in the end, there's a little promise, a pledge about being a water protector. I'm going to read that promise now. Earth Steward and Water Protector Pledge. I will do my best to honor Mother Earth and all its living beings, including the water and land. I will always remember to treat the earth as I would like to be treated. I will treat the winged ones, the crawling ones, the four-legged, the two-legged, the plants, trees, rivers, lakes, the earth, with kindness and respect. I pledge to make the world a better place by being a steward of the earth and a protector of the water. There's a place that you can sign this if you own this book, but even if you don't own this book, I encourage you to take that promise and think, what can I do to protect the earth and the water and to stand with indigenous people who have been taking care of the earth for a very, very long time? Bye.